Hello, welcome back to the L1 show. Today we're doing space and nonsense.
Robots.
Whatever.
The big story this week is this one.
This has been going on for 3 weeks. It's been up for debate. Are we going to allow it or are we not going to allow it? Turns out we're going to allow it.
San Francisco supervisors vote to allow police to use robots to kill.
That's what they needed, really. It's like something else to put between them and the reality of taking a human life.
Yeah, they have a quote in here. It's like, the best possible scenario is all the officers coming home or something like that. It's like, bro, I don't think you know what your usefulness is. You are the meat shield. That's why we pay you.
What, isn't this supposed to be the thin blue? Is it the thin gray line now? Because it's robots.
But then again, San Francisco is really sort of crazy. Like the videos that are coming out of there are insane. Like the little bodegas have, it's like RoboCop. It's like the old RoboCop. Remember where everything was like super armored and everybody had a shotgun, except no one has a shotgun in California.
Yeah, but if we just start sending in robots to kill those people, is it going to improve?
Yeah, that's just going to make things worse.
Well, there's certainly no consequences now.
It feels like there can maybe be a consequence between nothing and killing someone with a robot.
Yeah. Like we could, after arresting you or arresting you at all, instead of not arresting you, we could prosecute you rather than kill you with robots.
That seems like a lot more work.
And that seems to be how our legal system was supposed to be set up, where, there's levels of things you have to do before you get sentenced.
The video of like the Apple store being robbed and the employees are like the people in there don't have any idea what's happening. The employees are like, oh, this is a robbery, sir. I'm going to need you to step over
don't
here.
interfere with this.
Yeah.
But because of the horror of our insurance and liability system,
That's probably the best outcome.
that is the smartest thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I've read that all of those items, even if they are real, which they usually are not, are bricked the moment they leave the store.
Yeah.
So, who are you selling those
You've
to?
accomplished nothing.
You put them in your booth at Peddler's Mall.
Yeah. They did make one concession, which is that the robot's weaponry will not be ballistic bullet based. It will be explosive based.
For maximum collateral damage.
Well, you don't want to have to pull the trigger multiple times. Mm-hmm. And we've learned that robots, when they're just roaming around, people tend, especially children, tend to have insane aggression toward them. The videos of like packs of children molesting the mall robots, I don't know what causes people to do that, but there's something inside of us that makes us hate them, and we're trying to figure it out.
Robots will roam university to study a socio-technical problem. How do people react to robots? Not well, if those YouTube videos are to be believed.
It's not like we have, years of media where the robots are the bad guys that have socialized us to want to destroy them.
That's true, yeah. Did you guys see the video of the little delivery robot getting hit by a train? Did we do that one?
Yeah. So it caught on fire.
That's so sad. But yeah, they're going to have Texas, which Texas university was this? I don't remember. Anyway, they're going to have robots. And they're just going to be wandering around delivering, not food, but they said it'd be like wet naps and stuff that you might need as a student. I don't know if it's free or whatever, but they're not doing it to deliver the items. They're doing it to figure out what happens to the robots.
There's a YouTuber that he bought one of the Boston Dynamics robots, or one of his fans bought it for him, and he put a keg on the back of it, and he programmed it to look for a red cup on the floor, and then it pees beer into the red cup. It's endlessly entertaining.
That seems like that would be the best thing to put on a college campus, right?
Yeah.
That would really get a new generation invested in robots.
They should get that guy's robot and deploy it on campus.
They should sell that as like a beer pong kit.
In a few years, that'll probably be a thing. You can get it for Christmas.
And how hilarious is it? How hilarious is it? It lifts its leg and just pees into the cup.
And if you refuse to drink after you've been assigned to drink, it like wrestles you down.
It screams, party foul, and then drops a grenade.
It's like, I can't imagine why Boston Dynamics wouldn't have wanted to sponsor that.
Vibe check.
And we are always trying to figure out how to get robots to build things, how to autonomously do that. This is a good idea. However, it is not load bearing.
MIT researchers build swarms of assembling robots. This is not a lot different than other self-assembling robot things that we've seen in the past.
This is a mock-up. It does not actually have the structural integrity to build in 3 dimensions like that with gravity at this point, I don't think. But maybe someday. It's a start. And fully automated driving, we don't have it, but we do have the infrastructure, the political infrastructure for level 4 autonomy in Germany, which is where they're going to try this.
Bosch and Mercedes-Benz to roll out fully automated parking at Stuttgart Airport. So basically, your car drops you off, and then it parks itself in a designated spot that you've pre-rented ahead of time.
And the parking lot itself has all the sensors and infrastructure and everything to help it do that. So it's not just the car doing it. It has help from the environment.
This got me thinking, one of the complaints from city planners is, oh, the parking around a stadium is problematic. We need more public transit, blah, blah, blah. Could this be a happy medium that we get to? It's like, okay, we're not going to have any parking around the stadium, but everybody's car is going to be self-driving.
Does that really solve the problem, though?
No, not at all.
But
But California immediately will require self-driving cars if you want to have a car in the city.
But then,
or London.
In the 7th inning, everybody queues their car.
Right.
Yeah, that's
then
still
it's
going to
just-
cause a problem.
yeah.
It's too many cars for too small an area.
Or you can't find your car in the line, and everybody's like, no one's moving this car. Oh, that guy's back there.
You have the Hyundai or whatever where it's got the problem where it's like, oh, someone unlocked everybody's car all at once because the email thing's messed up.
Or somebody just comes by and takes them.
Yeah.
Because they're nicely lined up. And now, of course, we do have the Tesla truck now. Kind of. Pepsi and Frito-Lay, I guess, have a couple. But what about all the other trucking companies that popped up during that time?
Autonomous trucking software upstart Embark has quietly gone from $5 billion of valuation to basically worthless.
They're in a hilarious situation where they have more cash on hand than their market cap. So if you invest in them, you pay less than the money they actually have in the bank, and no one's willing to do it.
It's like when they were paying you to take barrels of oil.
Except oil is super useful. And we got some great upgrades from OpenAI with their new GPT-3 and GPT chat. It is fascinating and equally terrifying.
Very scary.
OpenAI upgrades GPT-3 stunning with rhyming, poetry, and lyrics. I think they actually refer to it as GPT 3.5, which is a tease for their upcoming GPT-4. Like, they've been really hyping GPT-4, and if this is GPT 3.5, it's mind-blowing.
And maybe even more mind-blowing because rhyming, I don't think is quite as difficult as what this one can do pretty well.
OpenAI's new chatbot can explain code and write sitcom scripts, but it is easily tricked.
I feel like we've had a lot of stories about AI art that have been scary to me. This one is the one that I think is scary to you guys.
Yeah, like the dude literally asked it to write a web. Well, this should be scary to you too, Chris.
Well, yeah. Either way, my job's going away, but like now we can all be secure in the fact that all of our jobs are going away.
It was, how do I do a website footer using the Tailwind CSS framework with 3 columns and a logo? And it basically got it right.
Yeah, just spit it out.
Now, there were some other people were trying to ask it to explain regular expressions, and it did a reasonable job explaining regular expressions, but there were, like, one of the people submitted a regular expression that had typos, and it explained what the regular expression should do, but not what it actually did.
That's the problem, I think, with it, because those little mistakes, we're going to get so complacent about trusting the AI.
Yeah.
And it's going to get something small but critical wrong.
Yeah.
And then a nuclear reactor is going to melt down and destroy us all.
Yeah.
But on the way to that horrible future, we should get some really great entertainment based on AI.
Disney made a movie quality AI tool that automatically makes actors look younger or older. And this is so far better than whatever they did in the Star Wars movie.
Some of these are better than others, I think. Some of them I don't think are that great.
It seemed to do better at aging than de-aging.
Yeah.
But still pretty amazing. You're looking for it right now, but if this was just a scene in a movie that was quick, you might not notice it.
It actually is even better than they de-aged Robert Downey Jr. for one of those Iron Man movies, and this is better than that, I think.
They de-age a lot of actors and actresses in Hollywood and movies now.
It's
People
good
just
news.
aren't aware.
Good news for Johnny Depp. He's got a couple more years of being a pirate. And AI playing Minecraft is nothing new, But how about an AI that plays Minecraft based on text instructions?
Nvidia AI plays Minecraft and wins a machine learning conference award. What would you like me to do? It's like, you should build a house out of this and that. Okay. And it just goes and does it.
Or even as complicated as build a portal to the nether and walk through it. And it will happily do that. And all the, like, how much gameplay is required?
That's pretty impressive because you have to have a diamond pick to mine the obsidian to make the portal. So I'm assuming if it didn't already have those items, it's going to do that. That might be.
Right. So what they did, like you see here, they've broken down gameplay footage into what is being done in that footage. And then it's learned sort of workflow.
Yeah.
So like when you tell it nether portal, it knows it has to complete all of these tasks.
I need a diamond pick. To get a diamond pick, I need an iron pick. I need to go down to a mine shaft. I need to get wood, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it's kind of showing you here the chart. Impressive.
Yeah. Our jobs are being stolen and our recreation.
Yeah. How long until a GPT-driven chatbot is on Twitch through the Google voice modulator, playing Minecraft and interacting with the chat at the same time? And it's all just AI.
Like, we accidentally trained this AI with 1 million hours of Amaranth streaming. No.
Now, because it's a Minecraft AI, do you think it will automatically default to grooming young children in the chat?
Not with the new thing that Microsoft's done where it monitors all the server chat.
And moving on to space news. It was all China space news this week because their new space station is up there and they are doing their first rotation of taikonauts. Is that how you pronounce that? I think that's what they call them.
Chinese astronauts board space station in an historic mission.
Meaning they did it. It's been up there. Now it's getting new people.
Good for them.
And the Japanese, now, if you recall, we did this. I don't think it was the same study, but the whole idea of living on Mars has a psychological aspect to it, right? Can you deal with the oppressive misery of being on Mars? And so they simulated that by taking people out in the desert and locking them in a room together for 6 months or something like that. In Japan, they may have fudged it a bit.
Japanese researchers faked data in space flight simulation. And I read this thinking it would be minor, but no, they faked full psychological workups of people that were supposed to have been completely isolated for a couple of weeks.
And one guy did it and put everybody else's name on it. And they were fine with that.
Wow.
He's going to be forgiven for that because he's apparently pretty good at his job. And he was just like, listen, I have so much stuff to do. I didn't have time to mess around with these idiots out in the desert. So whatever. They're not going to let him publish papers for a while. And he is still going up to the space station, though.
Well, it really is kind of a slap on the wrist if you still get to go to space, right?
He's an older guy, too. I think he was like in his late 50s. So he's going up to the space station. 58.
Wow.
So he'll be 59 going into space. I don't remember hearing about this meteor. Did you?
Did you? So this is the story I was going to include. Maybe it's in here. I missed the space and nonsense section this week, but there was over a lot of the eastern U.S. people saw, they think it's a meteor, but they don't know. It was like just a bright green flash for a few seconds. I think it was last night, Thursday night, like 7:30.
Well, it wasn't this one because this one landed in 2020.
Yeah.
But it could be as exciting as this one because it's never been seen before.
2 minerals never seen before on Earth found inside a 17-ton meteorite. Now, these minerals were known to science. We created them in a lab, but this is the first time they've ever been discovered just in the wild in Somalia in 2020.
Probably tells us something about how these things form. Unfortunately, this meteorite is now in China to be sold to a private collector, which means that science will probably never get another crack at it.
You think like the Chinese scientists and like NASA and everyone's like, please just give us more budget for rocks. And then like some billionaire's just like, no, I'll take them.
I want that in my living room.
Yeah.
And China protest, of course, that's going on. And you're not allowed to really express yourself at all in China. And just like even doing nothing sometimes can get you in trouble. And as a way to point that out, part of the protest is holding up blank sheets of paper, which will get you arrested immediately. But what if you're the company that makes the paper?
CNN Business says that white paper protests China's top stationery supplier says that it's still selling A4 sheets. And then there's a convenient video. It's like people just holding up blank paper.
And
Why do you have so much blank paper, sir?
and if you watch the right video, as soon as those papers go up, the hazmat suits zero in on that and snap you right up and throw you in the truck.
Also, your travel application goes red because, of course, it does.
And you become homeless.
Yeah.
They now have tent cities.
Did you see the video of that? Yeah. The one I saw had like cheery music put over it. And I was like, this is dystopian. Why is it playing this music?
It looks like Kensington Street in Philadelphia, but those people aren't on drugs. I mean, they might be on like respiratory drugs. Probably not, though. Probably can't get those if your code goes around, Kelly, which is hilarious. And monkeypox is not really, I mean, it was hot for a little while, but it didn't have any staying power.
It didn't.
The news cycle moved on from that a long time ago. But somehow monkeypox is not allowed as a name, and I can't figure out why.
No.
Somehow, CNN Health, the WHO renames monkeypox as mpox.
Pox.
Not to be
That sounds like Hanson.
Yeah.
not to be confused with empty gox.
I'm surprised you knew a Hanson song.
Me
That
too.
was big.
It was.
There was a time when MTV was showing that like every 15 minutes, and all the guys in high school was like, "Oh man, that drummer's hot." Yeah, it'll be mpox now, and I don't know why we needed to do that, but we did. Also, there'll be a 1-year grace period where you can still call it monkeypox, and then after that, I don't know what happens to you, but you're not
You
allowed.
take it to the city in China.
That's a $20 fine.
And OnlyFans is definitely opening up new doors for a lot of people, mostly young ladies. However, you need to be careful with your OnlyFans account. You can't really keep that genie in the bottle, as this lady found out.
Former teacher who made a quote-unquote adult video in her classroom says she was kicked off of OnlyFans. She was also fired from her teaching position. She went so far as to say, it's like, well, look, I blocked the entire state of Arizona, where I used to teach, from being able to see anything. I thought that would be good enough. Turns out, no.
Maybe don't record it at your place of work.
Well, she was
With
fired.
children?
She was fired before that video came to light. So she was kicked off of OnlyFans for that video. Because OnlyFans has a policy where you can't be in public where other people might see you. In a classroom.
That's public, yeah. Public schoolroom.
She said it was a Saturday and no one was there, but yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm sure.
She has moved to another service. They didn't say which one. I didn't know that you could geo-block. Well, that makes sense, right? Yeah. But she had to, well, I guess she doesn't know. But I bet she knows now. VPNs would get around that.
Oops.
That's wild. Like, I guess you couldn't advertise this if you're ExpressVPN, but turn on a VPN and go back to OnlyFans, you're going to see different content. And it's going to be the people who live next to you. This is a new trend, and it is, in fact, the same people
I'm pretty sure this is Disney.
who are, you think Disney's doing this?
Yeah.
But all this old Disney content is running out of copyright, and Disney's worst fears immediately come to life.
Prepare for Bambi on rabies, beloved fawn to become killer in new horror. This is a follow-up to the Winnie the Pooh horror, which they talk about. I am convinced that Disney is doing this to drive hysteria so that they can get another copyright extension.
I really like that as a conspiracy theory. I'm 100% on board.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Disney wants more copyright. More.
They want to, at the end of the day, they want to protect their brand integrity. And if they drum up enough hysteria, they can do it.
It's like Winnie the Pooh is worth life of the author plus 120 years. Or no, life of the author plus 90 or 120
90.
years.
I think it's 90.
For the corporate side of it. But whoever invented the windshield wipers, you get 20 years.
The guy that invented the mobile phone got almost nothing.
Yeah. Insulin?
Motorola got it all.
Insulin for $1.
And when it comes to copyright and trademark, we have these rules that, like, you have to be able to prove that someone could reasonably confuse this other product or this other name with your thing. So if it's completely in another part of business entirely, you can't always get your way unless you're a powerful enough corporation.
Jack Daniels asks Supreme Court to hear dog toy dispute. So this is a dog toy that's labeled Jack Daniels.
Well, it's labeled Bad Spaniels.
Bad Spaniels. Yeah, it seems like I'm okay with this. Jack Daniels should not be able to complain about this.
No, they should not. I mean, let's say that you were confused. The moment you tried to drink it and it turned out to
And
be
it just squeaked?
yeah, it's a dog toy with no liquid inside of it, I think you'd figure it out.
I think at that point should also be the point at which you decide to check into rehab.
You think this is too hot? We already talked about it a little bit.
I don't think so.
Chris is going to have to read the headline because I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that.
It's a fashion brand.
Is it? Well, I'll let you do it first.
Okay. Balenciaga
That's what I was going to say.
slammed for ads with children holding bondage teddy bears.
Oh, you know what? I actually did know that because I just heard Ye say that when I watched
yeah.
the. Yeah.
I like to look at all the different like fashion houses and see what they're coming out with.
And what do you think about this?
I don't particularly like most of the stuff.
What are they trying to
Balenciaga's
sell
coming out
here?
with.
What is for sale here?
I don't know. I didn't know they had a children's line.
Yeah, like what?
Is this an ad for the new Wednesday Addams show?
The only stuff I've seen from them has been like their haute couture stuff that's like, yeah, like the masks and like covering your hands and it's just like a giant bodysuit.
Now, here's the craziest part about this is that they did little things in this photo shoot. You know, there was a lot of Easter eggs in here. The craziest one is this piece of paper, which if you zoom in on, has text about child protection and pornography laws. Like, why would that be in there? Then they have, like a lot of the conspiracies say, and maybe this is tongue in cheek for the conspiracy people, I don't know, but they say that these child predator rings and like the whole, what was the name of the pizza place from the Clinton days?
Oh, I remember all the
yeah,
pizza
the
stories,
Rocket
but
Pizza
yeah.
or something.
They say that those people worship Baal or Baal. I don't know how it's pronounced. Baal. There was a piece of like caution tape, but instead of saying caution, it said Balenciaga, but Balenciaga. And it almost seems like this was meant to
Is this bait?
provoke.
Yeah.
That's more clues than the human trafficking armoires that were on that one website.
Now it gets crazier than that though, because the artist who put all this together, her Instagram is filled with like violence against children images. One of them is like a child's bedroom with the bed stuff
You went
is
deep on this story.
yeah, what's crazy. Like the bed sheets are all torn up in disarray and there's stuffed animals and stuff, and then just blood everywhere. So this is something that she's into, but I don't know if that's purely artistic or I don't know what's going on here.
You've had it on the story the whole time.
Oh,
Hey,
We're back.
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't follow them a whole lot.
but it just seems like a really bad idea.
You gotta follow Iris Van Herpen. That's the haute couture artist you want
What
to follow.
god does she worship?
I don't know. She's Dutch.
Wow.
Tulips.
And we didn't, you know what? We did not have a black hole story this week. But we did have something approaching a black hole story.
Oh, this is such a nothing burger. Reuters has the headline, scientists build baby wormhole as sci-fi moves closer to fact. And then I dug into it. It's like, oh, they used a quantum computer to tunnel information from one quantum computer to another quantum computer. No, this is just a simulation using a quantum computer that seems to confirm the theory, but they didn't actually build it.
But we've already done the quantum entanglement in communications.
Yeah, but you still don't get superluminal information exchange. And I don't think you get superluminal information exchange with this either.
It doesn't come with fries or superluminal information exchange. Now, if you're saying to yourself, I would like more cocaine in my life, how do we make that easier?
Well, do we have some genetically modified good news for you?
Scientists are working.
Cocaine synthesized in a tobacco plant, complete with diagrams. Engagement challenge. Do you have a chemistry degree? Can you put this together? Is this like a home lab, order some stuff on Amazon kind of thing? What's going on?
Oh man, the tobacco fields are about to be lit in Eastern Kentucky.
Is this like the episode of The Simpsons where
Tobacco.
yeah.
Now, they did learn something interesting here, though. They learned that the part of cocaine that gets you high is not what we thought it was all along.
Oh.
So by learning that, they were able to synthesize what actually gets you high. But here's the thing about it. You actually would need way more tomato plants than you would cocoa plants to get this. So it's kind of useless.
You mean tobacco plants?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Tobacco completely threw me off.
Tomato. Yeah.
And of course, it's
I was
time.
like, man, I'm gonna have to pay attention to where I get my seeds this year.
It's time to do the word of the year. And what word would best describe 2022? This one may be close, but this is not the right one.
AP reports gaslighting is Merriam-Webster's word of the year for 2022.
Rip Angela Lansbury, who was in the movie where we got that word from.
What would you pick as your word of the year?
Words I'm not allowed to say on here. And when it comes to fast forwarding through commercials, I've managed to eliminate commercials for most of my life. However, there is one instance where I have to do this, which is the Joe Rogan Experience on Spotify.
Oh, is do you do ads in the middle
What
of
they
that?
do is they change the track to the ad track in the middle, and you can still jump to the end. But you have to do it, and there's like 3 or 4 in a row. You have to sit and click. And so it seems like similar to what Sky customers are having to deal with.
Sky warns customers they will be charged £5 if they fast forward events. Oh, there was a boiler snake bang.
I think
Yeah.
they might have heard that one.
It's very upsetting for the boiler snakes. So this is you co-opting your smart TV and using it against you. Now, there's some subscription plans that cost more where you don't get the $5 charge, but if you skip those ads, it's $5 a month.
Imagine seeing this on your bill.
Ad skipping add-on pack. This is literally the darkest timeline.
I feel like that's like grounds, you arm yourself and you go to the office and you cause a ruckus.
Don't say that, Krista. People do that kind of thing.
What kind of world do we live in where it's like, oh yeah, we're going to put software on your TV that watches what you do. If you skip ads, we're just going to charge you more
Yeah,
money.
who's like, yeah, that sounds like a non-dystopian thing to do.
The people trying to sell the ads. Because they're hearing from their customers. It's like, yeah, we don't really invest in that because people are just skipping it. And they're like, we'll fix that. And then they go to the technical team. And the technical team's like, are you insane? What are we going to have to do? Sell an extra subscription?
Well, it's either that or help people harvest organs out of people at these camps in China.
I've been reading like design blogs and stuff for the last couple days, just trying to like keep up with trends for 2023. And like so much of it is just crap like that adds no value to the customer, but it's literally just the way the whole industry is going.
I think the trend for 2023, I'm going to call it right now, is going to be hunger. Valve, they're doing pretty good, and they're finally able to fulfill all those Steam Deck orders. If you want a Steam Deck, no more wait time. You just get it. But the warehouse is clearly overtaxed by this.
Valve requests Steam Deck user return the turkey fryer it sent. So apparently, this guy, it sounded, part of the article made it sound like he sent it in for repair.
I think what happened was someone with Gaben's inner circle was like, oh, my turkey fryer broke. And he's like, just send it to the warehouse. They fix that stuff. They got no problem with that. And then they mixed up,
A packing slip.
yeah.
Oops. Well, he's mailing it back, but it's an interesting story. It's like, thanks Valve for the turkey fryer.
I like this defaulted to Korean. There we go.
So North Korea, as always, they're trying to keep the evils of capitalism and the Western world out of their country. This is their latest step, allegedly.
North Korea bans Korean names like Ari and Sora.
I wouldn't think those were Korean names, would you?
I would. I had a friend named Sora when I was young.
Satellite? Is satellite a normal Korean name?
Maybe the Korean word for satellite
I
got
bet.
translated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe it means star or something. And
No, that would be an interesting way to name your children. It's like, my child is my satellite. I'll use the word for satellite.
We expect you to be floating around us as a bird in your entire life, never making it out of our orbit. And in Thailand, now, is Thailand not the country that is famous for being absolutely intolerant for drugs?
I believe so.
Like if you try to traffic drugs,
I thought
in
it was
Thailand-
Singapore.
Is it? I think
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
both, right?
Maybe both. I could have sworn it was Singapore. I might be wrong, though.
Wasn't there a movie about a girl who, anyway, I'm pretty sure they have a crazy situation, but apparently that only applies to travelers and not to their most holy men.
Thai monks failed drug tests, leaving the temple empty,
All of them failed.
which is apparently upset locals. There was a P test, but there's no details. And the article's like, we tried to get some details. It's like, what tipped off the police? Like, were there complaints? What's going on? It was methamphetamine.
Yeah, so they were all on meth. That was the only detail I could find about it.
How do you think the meth got started? Was there a guy who already knew how good meth was who became a monk to try to fix his life?
They were all at a party, and they'd be like, it'd be rude to refuse.
What if it was something like everything bagels? Like they were just super into everything bagels.
Meth
A
bagel.
Panera had just opened up down the street. They kept getting those bagels, and then when they were tested,
One of the weird things that people started to notice is that within the span of 3 months, they had built an entirely new temple. I just made that up.
By hand. Using only a hammer and chisel.
Spoons. And here's a terrifying reality in our world, especially in this country, because when someone in power does something wrong and we punish them, we don't stop them from getting power again. Like that's a critical step that we're overlooking.
Cop accused, this is a Newsweek headline, cop accused of groping student given a new job while they're investigating that, which is,
no, their new
No.
job is investigating.
That's their new job.
oh,
So
Yeah.
this guy worked on a campus and he became a little infatuated with a certain young girl. And anytime he would find her, she came to him initially. She had some kind of problem. And he was like, oh, we're going to take care of her. And he was like hugging on her and stuff. And then she was like, I don't like that. But then there was a fire alarm. And you remember the college fire alarms at like 4 a.m. Everybody's outside naked. This guy showed up to respond to the fire alarm, zeroed right in on her, scantily clad, and once again started like hugging on her and stuff. So he was fired. But because he had already gone through the training and they didn't want to retrain a new person, the local PD snapped him right up and put him in the sexual assault division.
oh, that's horrifying.
And finally, this is just one of those terrifying things that you can do nothing about. You don't know where these people are. You don't know what's going to trigger them. And you might be sealed into a tiny, tiny pressurized can with them.
We won't because we don't fly that often, but this man does.
I'm not going to see.
Would you have jumped up
Yeah.
and tried to do something about this?
Yeah, if I was sitting there, oh yeah. I'm going to read the headline slightly out of order. Woman flying from Houston bit someone on a flight in an effort to open the plane door at 37,000
And you're
feet.
like, is there a fire? Is there an emergency? No.
She said Jesus told her to open the plane door.
But it's crazier than that. This woman had no reason to be on a plane. She woke up, she had a family and everything, had a job, had a normal life, walked out of her house with just clothes on her back, no bags or anything, went and bought a plane ticket. Once the plane was up, she walked to the back, started staring at the door. I guess like working up the courage, and then eventually tried to open the door.
Brain cancer.
How old was she?
It's got to be brain cancer, right?
I was thinking that or like postpartum psychosis.
34.
30s is usually when,
A little young for brain cancer, but maybe brain cancer.
isn't it like late 20s, mid 30s is when you have the chance of schizophrenia developing?
I don't know. I'm not investigating
That
that.
seems like that's pretty sudden.
That's terrifying.
She locked onto the thigh of the woman trying to get her off. And they said it took a long time. Like, how do you not just jam a thumb in her eye? I think I could get a woman.
Is this patient zero for the zombie outbreak for 2023?
She did bite.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm imagining how I would react in that situation. I think, I would probably like, Hulk, like Hulk smash her away from the door. But then if she like latched onto my leg or whatever, thinking about other times that something like that has happened, I was like thinking about times where the cat has done that, and mostly I just ignore the cat. So I'd probably ignore her.
I feel like I'm the kind of person who would just like, if I saw that happening, I would panic and I would plug my ears and I would yell.
I guess you guys reacted how these people would. I like to believe that I would try.
If I was being bit, that would be different. But like if I was just a bystander, I think I'd just panic.
If she was clamped onto my leg and not biting, I'd probably just be like, "What is going on?"
But she's going to kill you either way. If she gets that door open, you're dead.
Oh no, if she's hanging onto my leg, then she's not a threat anymore. So I would calm down. But if
But
she's
she was biting.
Yeah, if she was biting, I feel like that's when I start getting violent back.
And it's also, they said they treated the woman for it was maybe rabies, the bitten woman for rabies, but also for hepatitis.
Yeah.
Do you think they always do that? Or
Yeah.
do they have okay.
Yeah, because even if you're like, there's been stories about like fast food workers who've been like, which is terrible, but like they've been spit on by people and they have to go through treatment for that too because they don't know.
And that is also considered assault for that reason.
Yeah.
Coming from an area that flooded frequently, when you were in a building that flooded and the storm drain was connected to the sanitary sewer, they would like the health department would automatically give you free hepatitis shots, even if you just walked through that, because it might have been water that contained sewage.
And then, yeah, if you had an open cut or something.
Yeah, but like, does this woman's mouth contain sewage? They also point out that the bitten woman has complained of PTSD and anxiety ever since the incident, which means that a certain airline is getting sued.
Yeah.
Also, or maybe it's just the beginning of the zombie infection where she's starting to feeling raged out.
Yeah.
And then she's going to go on a plane. And then she's going to try to open the door and then she's going to bite someone.
It's like the fungus that causes the ants to crawl up on the blade of grass and wait. It's like, that's how it's. Although, how does that spread when the plane crashes? Wouldn't that snuff it out?
Oh, shit. They've all been exposed. They just don't know it yet.
So you think the corpses from the plane wreckage would then rise up and start the real zombie apocalypse?
Sure.
Is that the catalyst? Like,
But they didn't. I'm saying these people didn't die. I'm saying they were all exposed to that woman and then they all went on to other flights.
but if the plane comes down, I'm guessing that would be that everybody on the plane would then be infected, and that's how it's supposed to work. Like that's the fruit dropping from the tree to spread the seed.
Is it if anybody works on airplanes, would opening the door at 37,000 feet cause a loss of the plane?
I don't know if you can.
Yeah,
Yeah, wouldn't that be a lot of... I don't know anything about... Like, I've never looked at that door on a plane and been like, I should open that.
But it would certainly depressurize.
Yeah, that would be
and
painful.
She would be sucked out. I would say the people close by would be sucked out, right?
That's why you keep your seatbelt on the whole time.
And if you can't get the oxygen mask, you're probably not gonna be able to breathe, right?
Yeah.
I would think they would drop immediately.
Man.
That's scary, though.
Yeah, it's not fun to think about.
Next time you have to fly.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for hanging out.